correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before I get tangented on making fun of Scottish accents.
So we got to the cavern.
You guys have gotten to the mouth of the caves, and the caves are pitch black. Fortunately, you guys are all solars, and one of the fun things about being a solar is your caste mark on your forehead. You commit one mote to it, and it lights up like a torch. You can be your own light source.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that then.
And what you'll see is that the stone is worn smooth as if by millennia of passing tides, and the caves are humid, suffused with the sounds of dripping water and waves. They're winding but not maze-like. And as you enter into the caverns, and you go in maybe 100 yards or so, at which point you've turned several ways and can no longer see several times and can no longer see the circle of the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a sibilant voice saying softly, "Why come you here?"
And sorry, just to refresh my memory, we were told the lyre was in here?
Yes.
Okay.
Or lute. Sorry, lute.
A lute. Okay.
Mhm.
Apologies.
I may have misspoke.
We've come to play a lullaby. So this is a
You
stupid
hear a
question.
sound like something large moving along the stone.
So I have a question. This light that's coming off of our forehead, how far does it go out?
I mean, it's like a torch. So,
Okay.
bright light out to 20, 30 feet and dim light beyond that.
Well, where I was getting with that is the Great Fang Spear supposed to be able to reflect light, you said?
Mhm.
So could I reflect it forward to see the light up further in the cave?
I guess you could bounce some light. Yeah, you could bounce some light. It would be like holding a mirror out there and
that's what
sort
I
of
was
trying to
trying to-
reflect. Yeah,
I
you
want to
could do
try
that.
to do that.
If you do that, you'll see that the tunnel curves a little bit, and you don't see anything that you think would be speaking to you. You hear a sound like something scraping along the stone up ahead, and again, why come you here?
Well, speaking for myself, I'm a performer, and I heard that there was a absolutely marvelous musical instrument here, and I'd be most interested in seeing if perhaps you'd allow us to interact with it.
Can I use my spirit detect and gaze?
Oh, there are no immaterial spirits present. No,
Okay.
I would let you know.
Okay.
It says, "Come a little deeper, and we may talk of this loot. A little deeper.
Sorry, what was the name again?
Come a little deeper, and we may talk of this loot."
Oh, I thought you said I'm something. You just said a little deeper.
Oh.
My apologies.
I think I'm going to hang back a few steps from the other two at this point, kind of as almost a rear guard.
I think it would be smart to stagger off and not get too bunched up in a situation like this in case of an ambush.
Sure.
As you guys go forward, you can see that there's a bend, and there's another bend, and around this bend is a light glow. Like there's a light source around that bend.
What color is it?
Roughly golden.
Okay.
And when you guys come around that bend, there is a circular cavern, natural, but with 3 or 4 outcroppings that look, like almost like seats or stools, but, they're solid stone outcroppings. And, coiled in the center of this room is a snake, with shining brass scales, golden eyes, and it's big. Uh, the head is about the size of is about as long as a human torso and about and of course broader, because it's proportional. And then the rest of the snake is we're talking maybe not a gigantoboa, one of the prehistoric ones, but larger than the largest anaconda.
And probably in the 30 to 50-foot range then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do we see a loot within this cavern and
No,
anywhere near the snake? No?
do
Okay.
have a picture of it though, and you'll notice in the picture in roll 20,
Mhm. Ah,
those are a person's legs and hand for scale.
sure. Yeah.
Um, and it
Okay, so
says,
yeah.
"Come, we may talk, and I will show you the thing you seek if you pay me in conversation."
Conversation. What a reasonable request for payment. How much conversation?
Ah, just answer my questions. I am very curious about the world outside of this place.
Oh, don't get to travel much. I understand.
Yeah, there really ain't much to tell
Mhm.
you. It's raining.
Mhm. Yes, the weather outside directly, if we're speaking very directly, is quite dreadful, honestly. Not what I was hoping for today, but
I care not for the rain
Yeah.
or the storm or anything of that.
Then what
But
do you care?
first, who are you? Why are you here?
I'm just a humble thespian, and my associates and I were brought here rather unwillingly, I might add.
Hmm. And why do you seek the loot then?
Well, there was this river goddess we met outside. Lovely, lovely person. Little, I don't know.
She fears to come in and conversate. It would have been a lovely way to pass the time.
Yes, yes. I gather that about her. Not a fan of long conversations, unfortunately. But you, I love the scales, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But uh, what was your life like? What about your compatriots? Who are they?
Oh, they're a bit more cautious than I am, darling. I'm the people person of the group, or snake person of the group.
Uh,
What is your name? What could we call you?
Myself? Huh, what a question. I simply think of myself as the serpent.
We find it curious because you're not supposed to be here. At least according to the river goddess warden.
What? Uh, what an interesting concept. I have been here for a long, long time.
According to the river warden, only the firebird is supposed to be here. What do you know of the firebird?
The firebird also fears to come inside this cavern. I think he believes that the wolf may come in here, and it does not. I have been very lonely.
Why would they fear the wolf to come in here?
Would you care to play hide and seek with a wolf in a dark cave?
If it
Hmm.
has red glowing eyes, no.
Then you are considerably braver than either of them, for they seek not confrontation with the wolf. Besides, they are here, and they are trapped. They
Uh,
cannot
Are
leave.
you are you
Are you
trapped?
trapped?
I have been here since I came into this place.
But are you
So
trapped here?
I cannot leave. We must guard the thing that you see.
oh, Point of order. I think at some point the river goddess said that this was a projection of the wolf, right?
No, she would have said it's an emanation of the demon.
An emanation of the demon. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
The wolf was
The wolf
another
is also
emanation.
an emanation.
Okay, got it. Sorry. Now I have it all clear in my head. Thank you. Oh, you're guarding what we seek. Is there any particular reason for that?
Because it is our nature.
Yeah, well, here's an idea.
I believe that I have been here forever, certainly as long as I have existed. But I am ever so fascinated by you.
Oh, I get that quite a bit. Thank you. It's very kind of you to say that. Here's a thought. Sorry, go ahead.
Might I inquire, what do you hope for in the future? What do you dream of?
Oh,
Snakeskin boots.
don't be rude.
Yeah, be honest. I just kind of want to go back home and seek my fortune.
Ah, for what purpose? Everyone has a purpose for such things. What is it you dream of, small spotted person,
Well,
who has been, I might say, not quite courteous enough to introduce yourself?
my apologies. I'm called Faka. It, look, as long as I know, building my fortune has been my dream. To a specific purpose, I don't know, but I've always felt that it's just supposed to be.
But what of your heart? What do you dream of when you dream beyond what you dare?
Well, give me a second to read here.
Incidentally, while he's having this, heart to heart, can I clock other entrances or exits rather from besides the way we came in?
There don't appear to be.
None. Okay, that's fine. Just thought I'd use the time wisely.
Well, frankly, I simply have sought to surround myself with trustworthy individuals and get what I can. Perhaps some might think it's simple, but that is my dream, if you will.
You dream that you will have enough to ensure your comfort then.
Perhaps. Perhaps
It is a
that
small
and
dream.
more.
It is a small dream, small person. You could be dreaming of so much more. But perhaps that will come in time. And the snake sort of moves and raises its body up and looks down at EA and says, "And your dreams are not so simple, are they?"
And when the snake does that, I'm gonna take my spear and kind of like shine the light in its eyes to see how it reacts.
It doesn't really.
Okay, I was just seeing if it reacted to the light at all. Um,
Mhm.
yes, my dreams are complex.
Tell me about them, please.
And what do we get in return?
That which you seek.
Is it
I
what we
ask
seek
only
or
for.
what you think we seek?
I know what you seek. There is only one thing that would call a chosen of the sun into these caverns.
What I
You seek
dream?
loot.
I dream of chaos coming to an end, uncertainty coming to an end, people living in peace and harmony.
Hmm. That's an interesting idea.
What I do not like are treacherous snakes.
Now, he hasn't done us unfairly yet.
Has treachery been something you have experienced since entering this place?
I'm just curious what your end game is, the way you're toiling around with us and not getting to the point.
Oh, if one such as me that is fascinated by new and different things, by humanity and its dreams, is not abrupt or brusque or direct. Well, that's because I wish to learn. One cannot learn by simply glancing at the surface of something. What will that tell you? Its appearance, certainly, but not its meaning, not its truth. You smell of sorcery. You know this already. Is that not what you do? Look beyond the surface truths to see the deeper, hidden, the secret?
I think you know I do, and that's why you're afraid of me.
Fear? No, not fear. Fascination. It is all I feel towards you. I am curious. I am fascinated. I find humans endlessly interesting. You're all, even the three of you, you're all chosen of the sun. You all have so much in common, but you are also distinctly different. It is intriguing. This one is short, that one is tall. This one is hairy, and this one is bald. This one dreams of wealth, that one dreams of knowledge.
And you are a snake, and you talk of what is your what? Hold on, I'm having a brain fart. What your nature is.
Yes,
I know your nature.
you.
All
Perhaps think
snakes are
you
the
do.
same.
Never. Not in the least.
I've never met a snake that I can trust.
Well, good thing I don't ask for your trust then. Only companionship. Even in your distrust, you teach me things. Shh.
Well,
One of the
here's
differences of humanity, you are rude and blunt in your distrust. And the snake's head dips towards Mirror Flag. She does not trust me, but can be courteous and helpful
no,
without needing to trust me.
I have no reason to distrust you, darling. You've done nothing other than initiate conversation.
And that is my joy. The humans are endlessly variable and endlessly fascinating. The only thing more interesting than humans themselves are their dreams.
Well, how about this then? I'll get into my dreams. Once we can always walk and talk. Once you deliver us to the loot we seek, I'll be happy to go into intense detail regarding all of my hopes and dreams.
We don't walk, we slither. Is that not true?
Oh, fair enough. Sorry. Slither and dither then, rather than walk and talk.
Well, have you, I ask you, you have come here following dreams, have you not?
You know, quite literally, I suppose, yes.
Hmm. And has my invitation proved, uh, has following my invitation been a success for you? Have you profited thereby?
Oh, are you the one who gave us all those dreams that sort of led us here then?
Yes. We cannot reach out very far, but for some reason, your spirits were like a beacon, and I found
We?
I could give you an idea, a sense of this place.
Who is we? You said we cannot reach out that far.
We are any who are at once one and many. Is the
Are you?
wolf a separate being from myself or part of the same being? That depends on one's point of view, doesn't it? So,
Hold on a minute
if
here.
I use the word we sometimes, it is only natural. Yes?
Before, you're saying you're the wolf, but the wolf told us we weren't welcome here. You want to talk to us. So it doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't. It is delightfully contradictory, isn't it?
Dreams and nightmares can be that, can't they?
Indeed, indeed.
Well, why don't you lead the way to the loot?
I would be delighted to do so. And it twists a little bit, and you see there is a path beyond some stalagmites. There is. You don't know how you overlooked it before. And the serpent, heads down that path.
At this point, I'm gonna pull out my spear. I'm
I
not
think
doing anything. I'm
you've
not
had
doing
your
anything.
spear out.
Yeah, you're correct, but I'm gonna be more at readied. I'm not gonna
Okay.
do anything, but I'm more ready.
All right. And yeah, so the serpent is going. Are you guys
Mhm.
going to follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll maintain like it was before. A few steps in the rear, kind of as a making sure that no other weird somethings that we aren't supposed to be here aren't coming in the back way.
I think I'd actually try and keep pace with it as much as I could. The head and try and make sort of idle conversation.
And I'm gonna stay a little bit far back from the tail, just in case it tries to coil or strike.
Oh, you guys wouldn't be able to keep up with it properly. It's moving a lot faster than you can.
Mhm.
Um, and eventually it disappears around a corner. And then when you uh, round the corner yourselves, you don't see it. What you do see is a large circular room in the center of which is an altar. Upon the altar is a lute. It appears to be of a white wood, uh, not any you're familiar with, but white as new fallen snow with green jade inlays and moon silver strings.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, serpent. Hello.
That serpent is not to be anywhere to be seen.
Oh, I heard I had an entirely lovely story about I have some dreams ready for it. Oh well, guess we'll just go ahead and collect the loot then.
Don't see what else we have to do here.
And is it just sort of like you said on like a sort of dais in the middle of the sort of circular room?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a stretchy stretch. Do like a fabulous little flippy backflip kind of gymnastic thing to get over to it and put my hand on it.
I'm gonna try to look around, like look up at the ceiling, just to see if there's anything I can observe. Maybe where the snake went, maybe any traps.
You don't see any traps, and there's no trace of the snake at all.
Not even like a little slither path.
Nope.
Well, you said this was like a very smooth stone, almost like a lava
Hmm.
tube.
Yeah.
Very.
Hmm.
Okay.
I am a bit concerned that the snake has seemingly disappeared, but I suppose let's get what we came for and get back out of here.
All right. Um, yeah. So there's no. Can I? This is maybe a crazy ask, but I get the feeling that I do have a lot in larceny here.
Hmm.
Could I use that to try and get the sense if there's any traps or trying to steal something? Like if I had anything would ping me to be like, oh, this reminds me of the time I stole such and such.
Perception larceny. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll allow that.
All right. That's two
Yep.
successes.
I mean, you don't see anything that appears like it would be a trap. It appears to be a very plain stone altar with a lute sitting on it.
Okay.
There's a small piece of green cloth under the lute to keep it from being scratched by the stone.
Okay. I'll try and take a running leap to land behind it, uh,
Okay.
and then place my hand on the loot. Should
All
I
right.
go ahead and roll anything for that, or
No,
all right?
you can jump over something this small.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. Laying your hand on the lute, you recognize that there is some power to it, but you can't really tell much further without attuning to the lute if you want to. You can carry it without attuning to it just fine, but if you want to know, uh, but it can be attuned to and will have some power that you'll be able to identify once you attune to it.
As a performer, I think I've got to be a theater kid here and attuned to the magical instrument.
I mean, yes.
Hmm.
After a little while, you realize that, well, it's going to take 5 motes to attune,
Sure.
and you realize that this lute, in addition to being an absolutely exquisite instrument for any sort of performance, if you play a certain haunting melody, you can drive away aches and pains from any who hear it. In game terms, negating 2 points of wound penalties.
Okay.
And that the people, those listeners will then heal their injuries considerably faster than they would without such aid. Um, and yeah, that's uh, and that any person can only benefit from the magical effects of this healing uh, once every year. Uh, uh, cannot You can't reuse it for a year and a day after you have benefited from it.
Okay. Well, good news, my dear compatriots. It seems that I'm attuned to this lute and I can heal some harms that you may take if I play
Well,
the proper bit of song with it.
well, I suggest we going. Being down here in this cave is confining, and frankly, the sooner we can return home, the happier I'll be. I do have
Thanks.
some concerns to speak with you about on our way out, though.
Oh, well, certainly. Thanks so much for the loot, dear serpent.
You hear and see nothing of the serpent.
Mm.
I have a weird gut feeling that all these beings are one and the same, just different manifestations.
I
Oh, wait, no.
mean, Suma literally told you that that's the case.
For the wolf, at least.
All of them,
The
including
serpent
her.
told us as much of itself. My concern is this. So Suma tells us these three anchors, we can combine them to make our way back. So, right, fine, all well and good. What does this do if we bring the anchors together? Does it loose the hold of the whole prison? And this demon that supposedly somehow is cursed to maintain its prison seems to both not want us to get these and to be willing to give us these anchors. So which aspect of its being is it serving in this? Is it serving its duty to protect its prison or its desire to escape it?
Escape seems like the fair conclusion, one would assume.
So then, well, look, I don't want to let this thing out, but I damn well want to get home. So which path are we on?
Well, there's a third option, although I don't generally can be quite so bloodthirsty, but if we were to simply eliminate this night cloud, we wouldn't have any more bad dreams now, would we?
There is that.
And nothing could escape if it was on to the realms beyond life. Although that's a bit of a tall order, I suppose, considering our previous incarnations could only imprison the thing.
Well, right, and quite frankly, are we in a dream? Are we in real? I don't know, and you magical people don't seem to have any much better idea either.
We just have to look at what's placed before us and try to decide as it comes. I guess we have to go on to the third anchor, considering we don't have the bow. And once we encounter this other manifestation that's going to be there, maybe then we decide what the best course of action should be.
And I'd absolutely love a chat with that firebird, Teo.
Well, I don't think we're finding a bird deep in this cave, so.
Yep. Let's make our way out then, I suppose.
And I follow suit as we head on up.
As you guys get out of the cave, Suma is nowhere to be seen. And as you make your way up the path, you see a bird, not an ordinary bird, but one in red and orange and blue and violet flames. It circles, gracefully flying, and then lands nearby as it does, taking on a humanoid shape, androgynous and very good looking.
Ah, we've been expecting you.
It bows low and says, "Greetings, princes of the earth. I've long waited for you. I am Teo, a firebird."
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Teo.
We have heard of you.
Heard of me? Oh, have you been listening to Suma?
She didn't have the most complimentary things to say about you, darling.
Huh. Well, I don't necessarily have the most complimentary things to say about her, but wouldn't you rather? Um, do tell me, what can I do to aid you, and what are your intentions here?
Who said we were looking for any aid?
You're still here.
That doesn't mean we need your help.
You have one of the treasures. If you seek the others, I know where the one in the caldera is. Exactly. I know Suma hasn't been up the slopes of the volcano.
We are seeking knowledge,
Well,
first and
in that
foremost.
case, all I have is at your disposal. I have been here for quite some time, and I don't have the same agenda that Suma does.
What might your agenda be, dear?
I want out.
And what of Suma's agenda?
Suma wants to keep this spirit here bound. She has apparently forgotten her life before, or sees no purpose in it. I'm not her.
And what was your life before?
I was a firebird. I was an elemental, and I danced and played with my brethren in the skies. I lived a good life. I had friends. I served one of your predecessors. At least I assume so. I served one of your predecessors as an information broker, a pair of eyes where he could not always be, uh, but yes, that is what I would like to return to.
As he's speaking to someone else, can I read? I'm sorry, as they're speaking to someone else, can I read their intentions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I think uh, Faka
5
is
successes.
a little
He is
blunt.
sorry. He is being absolutely honest. That he wants to get out. Um, he's he's a little guarded about something, but you can't really tell what it is yet at this stage.
So excuse me for being perhaps overly blunt, but you aren't yet another facet of this Sasuke, are you?
No, no, I am an elemental. I am a being composed of living fire.
And if we were to help you to leave this place, you wouldn't also cause that nightmare cloud, Sesuke, to leave as well, would you?
Well, isn't that complicated? I certainly would not. However, if you open the door, you open the door.
Hmm.
How does a fire elemental get trapped into a dream?
Being nosy and trying to do a task that I was asked to do by one of your predecessors. He was concerned about some ritual that his rivals,
What
fellow
were you
chosen.
being nosy? What were you being nosy about, and what was that task that the predecessors asked you?
He wa- he knew his he understood that his rivals were putting together a sorcerous ritual for something. He wanted to know what for. And he asked me to, if I, he asked me to go spy on it for him. Okay.
Was that ritual imprisoning the demon?
Yes. Well, no. That ritual was to create a cache, a safeguard for for several artifacts that they had gathered, and uh, uh, the demon was a means to an end. Uh, they bound this spirit, put it to sleep, and hollowed out the dreams to store their treasures. I see you have already found some of them.
So are you telling us that the imprisonment of this demon is just an elaborate means to safeguard personal wealth?
Yes, this spirit was bound to serve as a guardian for these objects.
Unwillingly, I gather.
Quite.
Well, not terribly keen on anything being forced to do something against its will.
No, nor am I.
Why were
Even
these weapons so sought after to be imprisoned, to be hidden? What is their greater power to keep them away from man?
They were not to keep away from man. They were simply being stored because your predecessors did not want their rivals to get their hands on them. It's no different than hiding uh, an emergency cache of food if you are afraid you will have to flee. Your predecessors were extraordinarily wealthy, and certainly the majority of them had more weapons than they could wield at any given time, and so they would stash them. Many of your predecessors were a little bit paranoid.
Well, as the saying goes, you're only as paranoid as they're not actually trying to get you.
Well, I will grant that, but paranoia or not, justified uh, or not, they did enslave and imprison a thinking being to serve as their storeroom.
This changes things, I do believe.
oh, considerably.
What were you told?
Oh, just the Nightmare Clouds was just a naughty little demon who had to be imprisoned forever for the good of humanity.
That seems faintly ridiculous, but okay. I mean, most demons live in Malfas, where uh, why would this one need to be imprisoned in a vault of its own dreams?
I think perhaps it's time we had a chat with the demon directly, if possible.
Best way to do that would be to bring the three treasures together. You have one. I know where another is. The third I do not know.
Oh, we already know that.
Oh, well,
So we were told that the three treasures can help us escape, and you're telling us that the
yes,
three treasures will bring the demon forth.
yes. If you bring the three treasures together, the demon will come forth, and then you may either release the binding if it recognizes your authority, although as chosen of the sun, I believe it will. And then the door is open, and all can leave. You, me, that snotty little bitch. I mean, Suma.
Yes, language.
I'm only interested in three leaving,
Huh,
and you're
well,
not one of them.
if you bring the treasures together, you will have two choices. One is to fight, the other is to release the binding. If you release the binding, that destroys the prison. It gives the demon back its own dreams, and it can have its own dreams in its own head where they belong, and there will not be room for you or I or anyone else in its dreams. This artificial false place will be restored, and we shall be deposited in creation. Or at least I think so. I'm pretty sure.
So
Well,
why don't you go ahead and show us what you were going to show us?
The caldera, yes. It is my pleasure to do so. And he sets out, walking towards the volcano.
As long as Steve, it looked like Steve wanted to say something.
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
All right. The volcano rises from the eastern side of the island. It's a blasted, jagged slope of obsidian and basalt, dotted with crags that spew smoke and a little bit of lava. it will be reaching the caldera requires a climb up the side of the mountain, which is time consuming but not challenging enough to require rolls. You feel the dream of heat, but you're not sweating, you're not getting dehydrated, you're not feeling exhausted. It's not draining you like being in an oven would be. And Tio is just absolutely thrilled to be accompanying you. Once you get up to the volcano's rim, the caldera itself comes into view, a massive lake of lava around a central raised islet of raw rock, roughly circular, wide enough. It's a little over 100 yards. It would be medium range to, attack from one edge of the islet to another. There is a plinth in the center of the islet with a piece of cloth, think like maybe a tapestry or something, resting on it. And connecting the rim to the islet are multiple twisty bridges of rock rising from the lava. Tio just sort of gestures to it and says, there it is. Let's go get it.
Might ask you a question,
Yes.
Mr. Teo. Given your other form, why haven't you already retrieved it? Seems it would be quite simple for you.
Indeed it would, but two reasons. First is that it is guarded by the wolf, and when you set foot on the island, the wolf will appear. And I have been mauled by that wolf very badly. I do not wish to confront it again. Second is that it does me absolutely no good unless I have my hands on the other two. Third is that I don't think the demon would recognize my authority to release it. I believe that is something only a solar can do, which is why I have been desperately waiting for you for centuries.
Well, right now, couldn't you just dive bomb and retrieve the tapestry for us? Technically, you would not be setting foot.
The demon does not deal in technically.
You
If I
said
were
that
to approve,
you
and
can't retrieve it, but because you can't summon the demon for its authority if you had all three, we can't. But you can acquire that piece, can't you?
Teo shrugs, turns back into a heron of living flame, and flies towards the island. As soon as he reaches the rim, the wolf begins to form on the islet. And he banks off, comes and lands next to you and says, I told you,
Oh,
I
well,
cannot without confronting the wolf.
not to worry. I have something of diplomatic immunity with demons. If it's the wolf, we can have perhaps a little bit more of a useful chat than the last one we had. If I go alone, I suppose.
Well,
No, I'll go with you.
I'll follow along, although you lead the way, since it appears that you were able to talk with this thing, as before at least.
Yes, you can
Suppose
remain
that
on
means
the. Sorry, go
Teo.
ahead.
I suppose, Teo, that means you stay here and wait for us.
Okay.
Well, why don't the two of you wait on the bridges so you don't, I don't know, get its stander up by standing on the center where apparently it gets a little protective of that tapestry?
Fair enough.
So, Teo and Faka Kun are going to be on the rock bridges, or on a rock bridge a little bit back, while EA and Mirror Flag step on to the
No, I
island,
was
right?
suggesting everyone but me stay on the bridge because
Okay.
I have diplomatic immunity, they do not.
All right.
So they stay on the bridge, I get on the island.
Yeah.
So
I'll
when
be
you
at the
set,
very edge of the bridge, ready to help.
all right, when you set foot on the island, the wolf growls, "Come no further. My binding overrides the writ even of your caste."
And the
What do you do?
binding The binding compels you to attack if I attempt to take the tapestry.
The binding will compel me to attack if you come one step further.
Good. So, I would back up one step backwards onto the bridge. I would like to use my boomerang to try and snag the tapestry and take it to me.
All right. Well, let's see. That is a medium range shot. And you want to snag the tapestry.
Mm-hmm. With my sharp boomerang. So let me know what I should roll for that.
I think this is one of those planned Q that no one thought would ever happen deals.
What you said. Well, okay. Problem is, the boomerang only comes back to your hand automatically on a miss. If it hits the target, you have to call it back.
Okay, that's fine. If it hits the target, then I roll again to call it back.
You will call it back on your next action.
All right.
And whether that's got a tapestry on it or not. The other thing that certainly Faka Kun would have noticed, and Tio probably as well, because they're kind of in the back, there are other wolves coming into being behind you.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
There is a pack coming into being behind you.
How far is the tapestry from the bridge that we're standing on?
50, 60 yards.
Okay.
And if I were to hit it with the boomerang would stop in place at the tapestry. Then I would have to take.
Also, the boomerang would be cutting into the tapestry to pin it to the plinth, and then you would have to hope that it would pull it along with you when you magically called it back to your hand.
Okay. All right. Seeing some problems here. But yeah, I would step back onto the bridge and and so I'm no longer on the area there. Like, look, for what it's worth, we're not so certain that your binding was just. We'd be willing to discuss helping to free you if we could have certain provisions and protections given.
The choice is not mine.
All right, so you're just sort of the automated guard dog portion of the larger part of you, I suppose. Right.
Call it what you like. You have forced me to this.
No one's forcing anyone just yet. I've taken my step off the front. None of us are getting near your tapestry. We're just having a nice chat, aren't we?
Its eyes are just blazing, even stronger than you've seen them before.
Well, I'm happy to bow to the wisdom of the crowd here. Farah, yay? Any suggestions or thoughts?
Well, I may be able to give whoever's going. Look, you or I probably clearly are best to make the dash, if you will. I have something that might assist us. But when we go, we go.
Seems reasonable.
I'm okay with that.
I think
And I don't think we're getting out of this one with all your flowery chatter.
Oh, well, not every thing can be taken care of with flower chat. That's why I carry all these knives. So,
Yeah.
Actually,
Faka chuckles. That.
I have a question for the GM.
Yes.
How about if could I use my Death of Obsidian Butterflies to go grab those for me? The tapestry? Or can they just attack?
No, Death of Obsidian Butterflies that doesn't actually create butterflies. It creates little glass statues of butterflies that shoot out in a cone and would carve the tapestry to very tiny pieces.
Okay.
And the rock plinth.
Okay.
Another question before we Another
Yeah.
question before we start dancing. How big are these wolves? Are they like wolf-sized or like ridiculously enormous?
They are horse-sized,
Horse-sized.
which is fairly ridiculous for a wolf, but not completely outside of the norm in creation.
Okay.
Now, is that all of them, or is the one on the island even bigger?
That's the one on the island, the central one. The others appear to be the same, but are slightly smaller. And from a game mechanical standpoint, they will be a battle group, which is a group of lesser characters which act as one entity in the combat sequence.
Okay.
Okay. So here's a thought.
Mhm.
Putting it out there. You're kind of the ninja here, right? So I can try and assist in a way. The pinning the tapestry with the sharp boomerang made me think maybe I can try and pin one of the giant wolves in the middle's paws to make it a little harder for it to grab you as you grab the tapestry and run back. I don't know if that's an option or not, but it's a thought that I had. And then perhaps to deal with the wolves that are back, Ye could just start trying, kicking doing some spells and whatnot to try and clear a path. If that
Well,
sounds like a plan for everyone.
give or take, I know a way to potentially slow the wolf down for whoever's heading into the middle.
Okay.
All right. So it sounds like you guys are getting ready to attack.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
All
really
right.
see much other way around this one.
We tried diplomacy, it didn't seem to work.
All right. So what I'm going to want you guys to do is you can, if you click on the icon of your character in Roll20, you can hit that gear. Whoops, no. Click on the icon. Right click on the icon and hit Open Character. Then go to the Combat tab and hit the Join Battle button. Except for Faka Kun. We're going to talk. Faka Kun has funky powers that will impact this.
Okay.
But Mirror Flag and EA can just straight do that.
So join battle under combat,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Cool. Any bonuses or specializations I should add here?
No.
Okay. Well, since I'm knowing I'm about to go into combat, I'm just going to briefly, if it's all right, check my charms and see if there's anything that.
You don't have anything that impacts Join Battle.
Okay,
I
thank
don't
you.
believe. I don't
Saves
believe.
me some time. I saw some other things, but you're right.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and hit the button.
I do not see what you're talking about.
You would
Okay.
on your character sheet, the tab that says combat.
Oh, on the character sheet.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then very first thing at the top there, it'll be a little icon next to join battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You said you want me to wait on that, correct?
Yes.
That's a 9 for me.
Yeah. Yep. Can Mike?
I am looking for the gear on my character sheet.
Gear.
Just up at the
No,
top,
no.
there's a tab that says
Right-
combat.
Right click it, go to Open Character,
I see
and then
combat now.
Combat. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Join. You gotta remember, I'm on a phone, so it's different.
Oh yeah, God, phones. That's a pain.
So I just hit join combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or join battle, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, because what you don't understand is it opens a new tab for different things.
Oh, what a pain.
And
All right.
I only get to see like a quarter of the actual Roll20 for some reason.
Okay.
So it says input bonus specialization.
Yeah,
0.
there should be none. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So Faka Kun has two options. One is she can roll the regular join battle, which is perception plus awareness like everybody else. The other is if you look at charms, there is under mobility and stealth something called blinding battle feint. You can join battle with a dexterity plus stealth roll, which also counts as an attempt to vanish from view. If you beat all of the enemies you are considered concealed and will be able to get surprise attacks,
Okay.
which is, to me sounds like a really good deal.
Yes,
So
it does.
for you, what I would like you to do is go to character and roll that dexterity stealth, and you can add additional bonuses.
Okay, hang on. Let me
Um,
get up to that because it takes us forever to scroll, and
yeah.
so I need to go to the main page of my character sheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to roll Dex Stealth,
Mm-hmm.
and then that opens up and asks for bonuses, specializations.
Yes. So you have a stealth excellency. I know that. And for a solar, an excellency allows you to trade in one mote for one extra dice.
Okay.
Your cap is your ability, your attribute plus ability. In your case, it's 5 plus 5. You could spend up to 10 motes and get 10 extra dice on your join battle roll.
I'm thinking. So did we regain the moat we spent for our head thing before? With
Yeah.
the change of scene? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I think 5 sounds like a good number because does this come out of personal or the
That is
bigger
your
pool?
call. You can pull it out of either pool. The only thing is you can't split it among two pools unless you're taking one of those pools down to 0. Like if one
Okay.
pool had 3 and you wanted to spend 5, you could do 3 plus 2 out of the other.
I think I'll go for, I don't know, we'll go for 5 because I want an opener,
Okay.
but I'm not like dead set on it. So I put bonus of specialization in there a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Submit. Doubles, just 10s or
Yes.
okay. Automatic successes, I don't have any additional, correct?
Correct. All right. So you get 6 successes, which means I will put you on join battle at 9 because your join battle gets 3 automatic successes. It's calculated in with the regular join battle, but since you're doing it a little bit different. Okay. All right. Now let me get the NPCs on there.
So do I need to do the join battle thing too, or are you handling that
No,
on your
no,
end?
no. I've already stuck you on the turn order
Okay.
thing. Tails on there at 6. The wolf. Oh, come on, really?
Son of a gun.
Yeah, wolf rolled really well. Oh, that's why it didn't go on there. At turn. The pack's at 10. All right. Now here's where I explain why Exalted combat is weird and cool. Exalted initiative is a resource. It is flexible. When you attack someone with what's called a withering attack, you basically steal their initiative. You take it away from them and give it to yourself. And when you have enough initiative that you are ready, that you think you are ready, you can do what's called a decisive attack. And that's the attack where your damage pool is equal to your initiative and it does damage to health levels. It doesn't touch their initiative. It does damage to health levels. It turns your initiative into also a pacing tool. And you'll find that this runs very much like a Kurosawa movie. There'll be a whole bunch of exchanges where nobody gets hurt, but somebody gets forced into a bad position, and then there's the final kill. The difference is the pack has static initiative because it's a battle group. You'll be doing damage directly to the pack's numbers, and they will start to reduce in. You'll start to drop wolves out of the pack, and the battle group will get smaller. It is not a huge battle group. All right. So, all right. I always do significant characters rather than. I think the wolf All right, so the wolf's kind of at medium range. The pack is at short range behind you guys. The wolf is going to bound to short range and is going to unleash a shattering howl.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast, on Discord at Me and Steve RPGs, and as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.